Command your wealth, for you were never created to bow before fear, lack, or limitation. You were designed to speak with authority, to call forth what belongs to you by divine right. Wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you summon. It responds to your faith, your words, your expectation. It hears the tone of your belief long before it hears the sound of your voice. There is a law in this universe that answers the bold, the fearless, the unwavering. When you declare, "Wealth flows to me effortlessly and continually," you shift the entire atmosphere around your life. Doors begin to open. Ideas rise within you. People appear at just the right moment. The world rearranges itself to fulfill the command you have spoken. But the universe listens not only to your words, it listens to your energy. When you fear loss, you attract loss. When you expect delay, you receive delay. When you rehearse limitation, limitation becomes your reality. So today, cast out the spirit of scarcity. Replace every whisper of doubt with a decree of abundance. Speak not as a beggar, but as a creator. Speak not as a victim of circumstances, but as the master of them. Walk as though wealth is already in your hands. Make decisions as though your success is guaranteed. Act with the confidence of someone who knows the supply is endless, the opportunities are infinite, and the doors cannot stay closed when your faith is knocking. Tell your money where to go. Tell your wealth what to do. Command your opportunities. Command your breakthroughs. Command your success. For when you stand in your divine authority, life cannot help but deliver what you dare to declare. Wealth is first commanded in the unseen realm before it ever appears in the physical world, because every form of prosperity begins as a vibration, a belief, a whisper in the soul long before it materializes into something you can touch or measure. You do not start with money in your hand. You start with a picture in your mind, a certainty in your heart, a declaration on your tongue. The invisible always precedes the visible. That is the first law of creation. Every fortune ever built, every opportunity ever seized, every break through ever experienced began as a thought, a vision, a sentence spoken with conviction. When you understand this, you stop looking at your environment as the source of your wealth and begin to recognize your inner world as the true birthplace of every blessing. Most people try to command wealth by working harder on the outside, yet ignore the soil of their beliefs. They chase success, but their internal dialogue contradicts their desires. They want abundance, but their thoughts are saturated with fear, and their words echo limitation. They look at what they lack and accidentally multiply it by focusing on it. But wealth does not respond to effort alone. It responds to alignment. It is shaped, summoned, and directed by the power of what you believe is possible for you. When your inner world says, "I am worthy, I am capable, I am abundant," the outer world mirrors that truth in perfect precision. The unseen realm is where you rehearse your future. It is where you build the blueprint of the life you want. It is where you talk to your dreams as if they can hear you, and they can. When you wake up each day and hold the image of success clearly in your mind, you begin to tune your life to that frequency. You start seeing opportunities that were always there but previously invisible. You make decisions with more courage, more clarity, more authority. You attract people, ideas, and resources because your energy announces that you are ready to receive. To command wealth, you must speak life into the unseen. You must dare to declare things that have not yet appeared, trusting that the spiritual law governing creation is already working in your favor. When you say, "I am prosperous," even when your bank account disagrees, you are not lying. You are announcing your future. When you say, "Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways," you are giving the universe a direction. When you say, "I am aligned with abundance," you are clearing away the fog of doubt that blocks your blessings. This unseen realm is not imaginary. It is foundational. It is the birthplace of every miracle. And until you command wealth there, through thought, word, vision, and belief, you cannot hold it in your hands. Wealth becomes inevitable not when circumstances change, but when you do. When your inner world is saturated with abundance, your outer world has no choice but to catch up. Your words are creative forces that shape your financial destiny, for every sentence you speak carries the weight of intention and the vibration of belief. Words are not empty sounds. They are commands sent into the universe, signals that instruct your life where to go and what to become. The wealth you hold, the opportunities you attract, the level of abundance you experience, all of it is influenced by the language you choose daily. Most people underestimate the power of their own voice. They speak casually, carelessly, not realizing that every declaration becomes a seed planted in the soil of their future. When you speak doubt, you plant delay. When you speak fear, you plant limitations. When you speak lack, you strengthen the very barriers you want to break. The truth is that your words carry the imprint of your subconscious beliefs. Every "I can't," every "I never get ahead," every "money is hard to find," reinforces a story that your life must obey. You cannot repeatedly speak struggle and expect to receive abundance. The universe responds to the tone of your declarations the way a servant responds to a master's command. If the commands are timid, fearful, or uncertain, the results will reflect that same energy. Your words are not only shaping your environment, they are shaping you. They influence your emotions, your actions, your decisions, your confidence, your expectations. They train your mind to either rise higher or shrink back. And because your mind controls your behavior then controls your outcomes. To command wealth with authority, you must speak with boldness, clarity, and faith. Declare what you desire, not what you fear. Speak the language of abundance even when your circumstances try to contradict you. When you say, "Money flows to me easily," you begin to align your thoughts with ease rather than strain. When you say, "I am worthy of wealth," you silence the inner critic that tries to reject prosperity. When you say, "New opportunities are coming," you open yourself to ideas and possibilities that were previously outside your awareness. These words reshape your mindset, elevate your vibration, and prepare your life to receive the very things you are commanding. Every wealthy person speaks differently from those who struggle. They speak as creators, not victims. They speak as commanders, not beggars. They speak as if abundance is their birthright, not a distant hope. And this is why their lives unfold with confidence and expansion. The universe responds most strongly to the words spoken with conviction. When your declarations are laced with faith, the law of attraction moves swiftly. When your words rise above doubt, your circumstances begin to shift. When you speak abundance consistently, your subconscious begins to rewrite the story you've been living. Your financial destiny is not shaped by luck or chance. It is shaped by your voice. Speak what you want, not what you fear. Speak what you claim, not what you question. Speak wealth until wealth recognizes your authority. Fear, doubt, and scarcity must be rejected and replaced with trust in divine supply, because no amount of effort or desire can bring abundance into a mind that is constantly rehearsing the possibility of loss. Wealth cannot enter a space that is already occupied by fear. Fear closes doors. It tightens the spirit, narrows the vision, and suffocates opportunity. Doubt whispers that you are unworthy, that you are asking for too much, that prosperity is for others, but not for you. Scarcity trains your mind to look at what is missing rather than what is possible, and in doing so, it blinds you to the opportunities that are already within reach. These forces are subtle but powerful, and they are the greatest enemies of abundance because they weaken your ability to believe, expect, and receive. When you allow fear and scarcity to dominate your thinking, you begin to make decisions from a place of survival rather than purpose. You hold back when you should step forward. You hesitate when you should act. You shrink when you should expand. You talk yourself out of ideas, dreams, and opportunities that could transform your life. You accept less than you deserve because you convince yourself that less is safer. But fear has never led anyone into abundance. Doubt has never opened a door. Scarcity has never blessed a life. These forces steal your confidence, your clarity, and your courage, the three ingredients essential to commanding wealth. Trust in divine supply, on the other hand, shifts everything. It teaches you that you are not relying solely on your own strength, but tapping into an infinite source that never runs dry. It reminds you that the universe is abundant, generous, and always responding to your level of belief. When you trust, you relax. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop worrying and start expecting. You stop grasping for crumbs and begin opening your hands for the feast that is already prepared for you. Trust clears the mind of noise, fear, and confusion, and replaces them with clarity, peace, and certainty. Trust does not mean you ignore challenges. It means you refuse to be controlled by them. It means you look at obstacles and declare, "There is always a way." It means you believe that even when the path is unclear, the next step will reveal itself at the perfect moment. Trust turns fear into fuel. It transforms scarcity into gratitude. It takes doubt and replaces it with the quiet confidence that everything you need is already making its way toward you. To command wealth, you must guard your inner world fiercely. You must monitor your thoughts, reject every whisper of not enough, and refuse every mental picture of failure. When fear arises, replace it with a declaration of faith. When doubt creeps in, speak abundance out loud. When scarcity tries to limit your vision, remind yourself that the universe responds to expectation, not fear. Wealth flows where trust lives. And when you trust completely in the divine supply that supports you, abundance becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Your actions must match your inner command of wealth, because desire without alignment is nothing more than wishful thinking. You cannot speak abundance with your mouth and then behave like someone preparing for failure. The universe listens not only to your words, but to the energy behind your decisions, your habits, your courage, and your willingness to move. When your inner world declares, "I am wealthy, I am destined for more," your actions must echo that truth. Every step you take becomes a statement of faith. Every decision becomes a signal to the universe confirming what you truly believe about yourself and your future. Too many people dream of wealth while living as if scarcity is their fate. They speak prosperity but cling to fear-based choices. They want abundance but hesitate to invest in themselves. They envision success but keep surrounding themselves with environments, routines, and relationships that reinforce limitation. This internal contradiction weakens their command. No matter how many affirmations they speak, their energy cancels out their words. To command wealth, your actions must become bold, aligned, and intentional. When you truly believe wealth is your destiny, you walk differently. You carry yourself with certainty, not desperation. You make decisions from expansion, not fear. You surround yourself with people who inspire growth, not those who anchor you to doubt. You invest time into developing your gifts, sharpening your mind, and nurturing the ideas that can elevate your life. You stop postponing opportunities and start stepping into them, knowing that each movement creates momentum. Aligned action means saying yes to possibilities even when the outcome is not guaranteed, because wealth responds to motion. Abundance flows to those who move with confidence, who take risks guided by intuition, who trust that every step forward unlocks the next door. It means letting go of the habits that drain your energy, the patterns that sabotage your progress, and the environments that dull your ambition. When you command wealth, you do not cling to the familiar simply because it is comfortable. You choose what strengthens your path rather than what soothes your doubts. Your actions must also reflect gratitude, discipline, and openness. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned with abundance, even before the physical results appear. Discipline ensures that you remain committed to your vision, even when distractions attempt to pull you away. Openness allows you to receive opportunities that come in unexpected forms, trusting that blessings rarely arrive wrapped in predictability. Every choice is a vote for the future you want or the future you fear. If you command wealth, you must behave like someone worthy of wealth. You must act with clarity, confidence, and purpose. You must stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead create the moment through consistent movement. Wealth is not passive, it is responsive. It answers the actions of the bold, the prepared, and the aligned. When your inner command and outer behavior become one, the universe has no choice but to deliver the prosperity you have claimed. Wealth follows those who walk in the certainty that it is already theirs. To command wealth, you must recognize your divine right to prosperity, because abundance is not a privilege reserved for a chosen few. It is a spiritual inheritance available to anyone who dares to claim it. Wealth begins the moment you understand that you were not created to struggle endlessly, to survive on scarcity, or to shrink your dreams to match your fears. You were created to expand, to flourish, to experience the fullness of life. When you finally accept this truth, something powerful happens. Your posture changes, your expectations rise, and your energy begins to attract the prosperity that has always been meant for you. So many people unknowingly reject their own abundance because they have been taught that wealth is selfish, sinful, or unattainable. They carry guilt when they think of prosperity, as if wanting more is an offense rather than natural expression of growth. But in truth, wealth is a reflection of alignment, not greed. It is the outward manifestation of an inner knowing that life is generous and that you are allowed to receive every good thing it offers. When you see wealth as your divine right, you revoke the permission you once gave to poverty to linger in your life. Recognizing your right to prosperity is not about entitlement. It is about awakening. It is about remembering that the universe you live in is abundant at every level: endless stars, endless opportunities, endless resources, endless ideas. Nothing about creation suggests lack. Scarcity is a human illusion taught through fear, limitation, and generational patterns. But abundance is the truth. When you tune yourself to this truth, your vision expands. You begin to see possibilities where others see obstacles. You begin to feel worthy where you once felt small. You begin to expect more because you know you were made for more. This recognition transforms the way you approach life. Instead of apologizing for your desires, you honor them. Instead of shrinking to make others comfortable, you rise to make your purpose undeniable. Instead of settling for crumbs, you realize you are meant to sit at the table. Prosperity becomes a natural expression of your identity, not a distant hope. And because your beliefs shape your reality, the moment you claim your worthiness, your world begins to rearrange itself. When you know wealth is your divine right, you stop competing with others and start collaborating with the universe. You stop doubting your abilities and start trusting the inner guidance that leads you to new opportunities. You stop hoarding out of fear and start giving out of confidence, because you know that what you release comes back multiplied. You begin to live from a place of overflow rather than survival. Everything begins with the belief, I deserve abundance because abundance is my birthright. This belief opens the door. It clears the path. It strengthens your spirit. When you stand in the truth of your divine right to prosperity, the universe does not hesitate. It responds. Wealth flows to the one who knows they are meant to receive it. You were not born to chase wealth, you were born to command it. Every thought you shape, every word you speak, every action you take, and every belief you hold is part of the force that creates your reality. When you align your mind with abundance, speak with authority, trust the divine supply, move with boldness, and claim your right to prosperity, wealth cannot help but answer you. It must come, it must gather around you, it must obey the spirit that knows its own power. Stand tall in that truth. Declare your abundance. Live as though the doors are already open, because when you command your wealth with unwavering certainty, the universe will rise to meet your voice.